Geico presents sharing versus oversharing. Earlier this week, Claire Tippins shared a princess nickname generator, 3 pictures of her dog wearing a tutu, and 2 online quizzes, including what candy is your dream castle made of? Claire, your sharing has tipped the sugar scale and turned into oversharing. But have no fear, princess. Geico has something worth sharing with your internet kingdom, like how you could save hundreds on your car insurance just by visiting geico.com. No magic wand required. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Blog Talk Radio.
You know what time it is? Time to hang out with Mr. Coop. With Mr. Coop I. With Mr. Coop I. With Mr. Coop I. The latest scoop. From Mr. Coop I. From Mr. Coop I. From Mr. Coop I. Mr. Coop. With Mr. Coop I. With Mr. Coop I. With Mr. Coop I. The latest scoop. From Mr. Coop I. From Mr. Coop I.
Welcome to the Big Scoop with Coop. I'm your host, Coop. And guys, we're still going live right now on season 2. We have about 1 or 2 more episodes left of season 2 until the beginning of season 3. Z Nation fans, you're going to love this show. Who I actually have up there. This guy has actually done a lot. I mean, even beyond Z Nation, we're going to learn more about the character Doc and more. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to even keep them waiting because this is a guest that I've been waiting for also. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Russell Hodgkinson. Welcome to the show.
What's up, Coop? How are you?
Hey, man, nothing much, man. I know your Z Nation fans, they're loving this right now. I had Passay Powell on the show a few episodes ago. They loved it. Yeah. This one right here, people have been waiting for this also, and I'm honored to have you on the show also. Thank you for coming.
Oh, my pleasure. You know, we love our Z-Whackers out there. Our fans are the best, I must say. We got the best fans.
Hey, there you go.
They really are the best.
Hey, exactly. Now, also, Russell, on this show, we always talk about how you started in your career, your success, give advice on how to actually get into your career and more. But we always start from the beginning. Now, Russell, when did you first realize that you wanted to become an actor?
Oh dear. You know, my first experience acting was in middle school. I was waiting for my friend. I was waiting in the hall after school. My friend was auditioning for The Wizard of Oz. And so I'm sitting out there in the hall, and the teacher came out and said, "Look, we don't have enough guys to read these other parts. Would you mind just reading?" So I went in and I read for the Scarecrow, and I made her laugh, and she offered me the role. And I said, "Well, I guess. I ain't doing nothing else." And my friend got a part, so I thought, well, maybe it's fun. And it was really fun. I loved it, and I never stopped. I just kept doing it. Every opportunity I could get to act, I would do it.
Wow.
But I never really considered it. I never really said, I'm going to make acting a career. I mean, I never did that. I just always wanted to act, you know.
Hey, that's cool. So how was it when you actually went on stage and you was doing The Wizard of Oz? Did you actually, were you nervous?
Oh, of course. Yeah. Oh, God. The coolest part about it is the collaborative nature of theater in general. You know, just being part of a team and starting out by sitting around and reading the script, and then suddenly you're on your feet, and then you're blocking, and next thing you know, you're adding costume and lights, and it's this whole really wonderful, magical process that is so addictive. And once you do it, you just want to continue to do it. And you know, it's where I met my wife. It's where I met my friends. It's you know, it's where I go. It's my social outlet, my artistic outlet. It's just been everything for me, you know. Nice.
And see, myself, Russell, I actually been in 2 shorts, getting ready for the 3rd film for me also.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
oh, nice.
and I know how it feels. Myself, I actually started when I was in elementary, and I was at a private school, and they had me dress up as Batman. So with me, I kind of followed the script, but I kind of acted a fool at the same time. So I was hey, I'm live. There's nobody can stop me right now. My teacher looked at me with these evil eyes, but hey, I had fun with it at the same time. So
now that was on stage?
Yeah, it was on stage.
Oh, wow. That's a bold move. I mean, you can kind of get away with that in film, you know, ad-libbing more, but, you know, on stage, typically, you know, you got to stick to the script, but it sounds like that was a kind of a free-flowing project there. Cool.
But see, the
for
crazy,
you?
It was fun, but the crazy part
Did
is
you get bit? You got bit by the bug, right?
Yeah, I did. And see, the funny part is when I was dressed up as Batman, this was like a play about Jesus, and I was running. I wasn't supposed to be running around the stage. I mean, they gave me a sign. You remember like the old school Batman shows where you had like the POW flash up on the screen and stuff? Yeah,
of course.
I was holding a POW sign. I was holding a POW sign, and I went to Superman, and I POW'd him right in the face. And they were like, "Oh my!" I didn't hit him, but I went right there in front of him, and I just had the crowd laughing. And of course, I had to hear the mouth at the end, but it was all fun. I mean,
how old were you?
I was probably 8, 7.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And I've loved it ever since. I have. So I know what you mean by actually getting that feeling of actually starting off for the first time. So. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's just nothing like it, and you just can't wait to do it again. It's so fun.
It's
so I acted all through junior high, all through high school. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. I like that. Now, Russell, like I told the fans that's listening right now, you've done a lot, and you've been in stuff more than just Z Nation. Now, what do you like more? Do you lean towards more the television industry or the movie industry? Which one do you actually feel more accustomed to?
Well, if we're just talking about TV and film, the cool thing and the benefit to television is that you get to develop a character over time. It's so gratifying to know, when you get invited to the writers group and they say, what ideas do you have for Doc for season 2? And where do you think we're going with him? And we have this idea. And what do you think about that? And it's this wonderful collaboration. I think in film you really don't have that as much. You go in, you do your thing, you do your scene, and unless it's maybe a script that you're working on yourself, something you've written, or you're in collaboration with somebody about it. But typically, the films that I've done, they're small parts. You'll have a cameo role or a little guest starring role, and you go in, you do your thing, you're done. But TV is a whole different animal. You really get to participate and develop a character. But if we're talking about just pure joy of acting, I mean, nothing is going to beat live theater. I mean, that's just where it's at, man. And any opportunity I get to do a play or a live theater, man, that's what I want to be doing. That's a rush of a whole different kind. And I'm so grateful that I get to play Doc. It's for a long time I played lots of villains and bums and drunks and rednecks, and so to get to play this kind-hearted hippie, it's so fun, man. I'm so blessed and so lucky to get to do it.
That's cool. Do you have much say-so over your character, Doc?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I come up with cool ideas, and the costumer wants to know, like, how do you feel in this? I was thinking about you wearing this, and how do you like, Doc's costume you could see really evolved in season 2 from season 1, and I had some input in there. They want you to feel comfortable. They want you to, I remember before the season even started, they said, what do you think about Doc? What do you think, character-wise, what do you think he would wear? What would he look like? And so I took pictures of things that I thought would work, and it's very collaborative. It's a really amazing opportunity. And they're so respectful, and they take ideas from everybody. It's very collaborative. I love it.
And see, that's cool that you have some type of say-so, or saying, yes, you feel comfortable in this, or no, I think Doc's character personifies more towards this level. It's cool. Right. And myself, I'm a Z Nation fan. I've watched season 1. I've watched season 2. I'm ready for season 3. Awesome. So I wait patiently like the rest of the fans and everything.
Yeah.
And, I really appreciate everything that's actually going on the show. Now, from your own personal opinion, do you feel that the movie and television industry have changed drastically within the last 20 years?
Oh, wow. Well, I think every aspect of life on Earth has changed drastically over the last 20 years. But, I guess with regard to the entertainment industry, I never moved to L.A., so I've never ever felt like I was really part of the industry. I've always been kind of this outsider, kind of out in the trenches doing my thing.
Right.
But I guess if we had to, pick an influence or a change that has been pretty drastic, I guess that would be the reality shows that have kind of been cropping up over the last, I don't know, has it been 20 years? Probably, yeah. And now they're just everywhere. I mean, I think that's maybe changed the dynamic a little. I'm sure they're cheaper to make, and audiences are gobbling them up, and so it's a cheaper way to produce television, and you don't have to be a skilled writer or have an amazing script. It's just it's like fast food for the industry, which is unfortunate because I think there's a lot of stories yet to be told, and I mean there's a place for reality TV certainly, but I'd love to see better scripts and better TV and more opportunities for actors who really want to act.
And see, I always wonder what happened to that era. You remember, like, back in the mid-'90s? Well, no, let me take it back further than that. Late '80s, early '90s to mid-'90s, when you had, like, for example, the sitcoms, Saturday morning television, Saved by the Bell, California Dreams, all of that stuff. And now you can't find that anymore. And I'm just wondering what happened.
Yeah, well, look, man, I mean, I'll even take it back further. I mean, I grew up in the 70s where we had the Munsters and the Addams Family, Gilligan's Island, Bewitched, Hogan's Heroes, all those amazing sitcoms. And, that's where I got my bug. I mean, I remember watching Gilligan on Gilligan's Island saying, oh, my God, this guy's getting paid to be this fun, goofy character on this island and eating coconut cream pies with Mary Ann. And, man, that's what I want to do, And that whole thing really evolved back then into more political satire. Then Archie Bunker came along, and All in the Family, and then the Jeffersons, and then so it's just been an evolution. I miss those old days. Thank God they have what is that station where you can watch the oldies on? I forget what it's called.
Well, in North Carolina, we have one called Me TV.
Yeah, you can watch old Andy Griffith and any of those fun old sitcoms that you grew up with. So it's nice that I do love the idea that you can just kind of watch whatever you want to watch anymore, with on demand and the different ways you can just avoid commercials and just watch exactly what you want, and that's pretty cool. Technology is pretty awesome.
Do you think we will actually go back to those days? I mean, not to those days, but do you think we will have some type of similarity of that type of television again?
No.
No.
I really don't. I think the days like the Munsters, I don't think that's – how could you ever, top that? Or,
you can't.
I'm sure because everybody wants to do it cheap, They don't want to spend the money and take the effort. And, I don't know. I don't think it's going to get better in that way. Okay. Maybe it'll get better in other ways, but the originality of some of those old series, man, you just can't beat that.
That's very true.
That's just
and I'm a person. I'm a nostalgic person. So me too. I hold on to that type of stuff. So I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of shows that I watch today.
Sure.
But if I can go back to the old school, I mean, I can sit there all day and just relax and chill off of that.
Oh, my God. It was just a simpler time, We didn't have so many conflicts in the world, and we weren't inundated with the news, 24-hour news cycles, and it was just a happier, a more beautiful, happier time, and I don't know that it's ever going to go back to that, but who knows? Maybe we got something to look forward to.
Well, I'll be keeping my eyes and ears open for that.
I'm pretty optimistic, so I'm one of those Pollyannas, so let's hope.
Hey, I got my hand raised, bitch. Yes. Now, far as it goes for the people, that just learned about you on Z Nation, can you tell them some other shows or movies that you actually appeared in?
Sure. Well, I primarily work in the Pacific Northwest. I have never moved to L.A. I don't have a Los Angeles agent, so that eliminates a lot of opportunities for me. But in Portland, there's a show called Grimm. I think most people know Grimm. I was on episode, the first season, I think episode 4, and I played an exterminator, a pest exterminator, and I got to morph into a rat, and it was a really cool episode. My son was a prodigy on the violin, and he gets accused of murder, and so I had a nice little scene there. another show that was filmed in Portland was on TNT. It was Leverage. It was Timothy Hutton's series. Yep. And then I think it was in maybe the fourth season. I'm not positive, but I played an Irish mob boss, which was super fun for me. I had just done a play in Seattle where I had to do an Irish accent. So I kind of nailed the audition because I had my dialect already practiced, you know. And it's totally fun. Yeah, I got to slick my hair back and, you know, wear a suit, which I never get to wear because they always just put me in rags or, you know, I'm always a bum or the drunk or the, you know. Yeah, look at my resume. It's, you know, creepy man, bum number 2. You know, I'm just like, you know. But anyway, so it was cool. I got to dress up and be the boss man. It was awesome. So, yeah, I did those 2 series. Before I moved to the Pacific Northwest, I lived in New Orleans, and I did a couple things there. I did an old Larry Hagman TV series called Orleans. I think it lasted maybe 1 season. I played a bird expert, kind of a geeky bird expert. And I did a film with Norman Reedus, an old film that he did. I think he was producing it. It was after one of his big hits. I forget. But it was called Tough Luck with Norman Reedus and Armand Assante. And I had a small part. I was like a maitre d' at a restaurant or something. But you know, that's when a lot of the film industry was starting to, you know, to go that way, to go to, you know, New Orleans. And you know, since I've moved, I moved, my family, we all moved from New Orleans to Seattle around 2003. It was just shortly before Katrina hit. And now all the film work is just, you know, dumping into that area there, you know. And I see lots of my old theater friends, you know, in guest starring roles on major shows. I mean, in fact, I was just at the movies the other day and saw 2 of my friends in that movie, The Big Short, that's nominated for an Oscar. Yeah, two of my theater buddies are in that, and it was so great to see them. You know, small parts, but you know they're working, and it's always nice.
That's cool, right there. That's definitely cool.
And I did.
You know,
I'm trying to think what else I did that they might know. I did Miles Teller is a young man whose star is on the rise. He was the drummer in Whiplash. And he also did before that though, when he was, you know, just kind of starting out before he skyrocketed. He came up to Seattle and they did a film called 21 and Over, which is kind of like The Hangover but for college age kids.
Okay.
And so, yeah, he had the lead in that, and I played kind of I had this big Indian headpiece on, and I was like tripping on acid in my bathrobe, but I ended up being like a professor at the college or something. It was a crazy, weird role. The audition really consisted of just freestyle dancing, which, you know, I'm a dancer from way back. You know, I'm back in the disco days, you know. So I just busted a move on him, and they're like, let's use him. Use that guy. So anyway, that was fun. And now it's amazing to see, you know, his career just took off. And he was a good kid, really super talented. So, you know, those are a few things I've done. And there's not a lot more. Other things I've done are just really little independent films that you might not have heard of.
Okay.
So, yeah. But I love working with young filmmakers, you know, because they're so passionate, and, you know, they need actors. You know, that's a great place for actors to start, too, you know, if you don't have the resources, and maybe you don't want to live in L.A., and you want to, you know, find out what it's like to be in a film. There's young filmmakers all over the country that are, you know, that got a script and they want to produce a short film, and they need actors, and, you know, you may not get any money, but just do it, you know, for the experience.
Right.
You may get $100, or, you know, they may feed you and give you a credit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So my career strategy for many years in Seattle was just look like shit and say yes to everything.
Basically. Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Hey, that's all right. Live. Go ahead.
Facial hair. You know, I always kind of looked scraggly and I'd say yes to everything that came along.
Hey, you see,
a lot of stuff I should have said no to. A lot of stuff I should have said no to. But
hey, nothing wrong with that. Get your feet out there.
Right.
But
that's
you know
fun.
what?
A lot of people. Yeah.
Right. And that's what I was saying.
You never know. You never know when one of these young new filmmakers, you know, 5 years from now, suddenly they're doing bigger films, and then they call you and they remember you did their little short film back in the day. You know, so like Bryan Cranston said, you know, your big break may have already happened. You know.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that was a really cool thing that he said. He's a great actor. I admire him greatly, and his advice to actors is just so on point. Anybody want to know about the business, and he's had a great career, but he struggled until he just kind of got into his flow and found out what worked for him, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
And you see, with me, I'm in North Carolina, so I'm on the other side of the world from LA, and I mean, gosh, it seems like all of the opportunity is in LA, or the closest to me is Georgia. So there's a few things going on in Atlanta also, but with me, it's like I want to go. I have family in LA, but I said maybe one day I'm gonna just take a trip because I've never been to California, never have. And I said, I will take a trip down there just to see what's going on. I've spoken to a lot of people from agents, managers, different clientele people from out there. And, it seemed like it's pretty cool and everything. So I'm going to have to actually go check it out to see what's going on in LA.
Well, brace yourself. Just brace yourself, dude, because, the freeways are like a parking lot. And, oh, my, I don't know if I could live here, man. Honestly, I don't know if I could do it. I feel like I might need to. I mean, I might need to move here if I really want to continue, with this career. I don't know, man. It's a crapshoot. I would get down to New Orleans if I were you. There's a lot of film work down there.
Really?
And Georgia. Oh yeah, they're doing tons of work down there.
Okay.
Where else is a big hub? I know Albuquerque, Santa Fe, around there. That's where they shot. A lot of big films, and the Bryan Cranston, the big TV series he did about meth. God, I can't even think of the name of it. It's so stupid. It's a huge hit. Big industry there too. LA is just so crowded, man. But if you're up for it and you got family here, I mean that's kind of cool. At least you got a place to crash.
Right. But like I said, it's gonna be a visit type thing. It's not gonna be a Yeah, okay, it's a totally different world over there, and I said I'm gonna just check it out just to see what's going on, and hear the hype that's going on. So I'm definitely going to do that. Yes. Now, also, Russell, we heard about the shows you've been in, the movies you've been in. Now, when you're free in your free time, besides Z Nation, what television shows actually catch your attention that you actually sit down and watch?
Right now, I'm kind of addicted to Shades of Blue. With Ray Liotta and J-Lo. Oh, man, that's a good show. I'm loving it.
Okay.
And then there's a really quirky, fun little sitcom that I really like, produced by Louis C.K., called Baskets. I really like that. I don't have a lot of time for television, and so I don't watch a lot. I'm kind of a geek. I love the Food Network. I could watch any of those shows, like Chopped and Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. I love the Food Network. What else? I watched, Homeland. I was into that. I like it when you can just kind of binge watch. Wait till the first season is done, and then you can just go back and just kind of gobble it up. I like Downton Abbey, and I don't know. What's the one? Kevin Spacey's political thing.
Oh gosh, what is the name of that? I know what you're speaking of.
You know the one. Oh, it's just great. It's just great. Him and Robin Wright, and so I watched that a lot. I watch some TV, not a lot, but a little bit.
Okay. So
whereabouts in New Orleans are you? I spent about 5-6 years in New Orleans. I mean, I'm sorry, North Carolina. You said, right?
Yes, North Carolina.
Yeah. I was stationed there, Fort Bragg.
Okay, I'm a few hours away from Fort Bragg. Have you heard of a city called Rocky Mount?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's exactly where I'm at.
Right on. Beautiful. I love North Carolina.
Hey, thank you. Next time you're in the state, you got to hit me up.
Yeah, I've been back. I spent about 5-6 years in the 82nd Airborne Division there.
Wow.
Doing theater at night and being a soldier in the daytime and doing theater at night. It was peacetime, so it was a beautiful time to just be able to do that. I mean, pretty cool.
Right.
Love North Carolina.
Hey, next time, Russell, you're in North Carolina, make sure you hit me up so we can get up together.
You know it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, what drove you to audition for Z Nation?
Well, you know, as an actor, you just do what comes along. You know, your agent calls and says, "Oh, yeah, there's this audition and there's this other audition," and you know, you just go to, you know. So I was never in the position where I could, like, you know, pick and choose and say, "Oh, I hear this director's doing this. I need to pursue him and get that role." You know, never like that. For me, It's just like audition for anything and everything that comes along. So the agent called and said, "Look, they're going to be filming a series in Washington State, and they're opening up the field to Pacific Northwest actors. They're not just going to use L.A. actors." So, and we're all, you know, me and my buddies, all of us in Seattle, we're like, yeah, like they're going to cast us in series regulars, like that's going to happen, you know. So we're very cynical about it. But you know, we all went in and I read for Doc, and I kind of screwed it up. I didn't feel like I gave a very good audition. It was the air shaft scene in season 1, episode 4, where I'm getting high in the air shaft with the zombie. That was the monologue that I had to do. And I don't know, I felt like that was it. And I felt like I didn't really nail it. So I went home and said, yeah, whatever. They're going to use an L.A. actor anyway. And then about, 2 weeks later, I got a call and from my agent, and they said, look, they want to see you again. Put yourself on tape again. So I said, okay, well, this time I didn't want to go to somebody and have them put me on tape. So I had just got my new iPhone, and I realized that I could record on it. Mm-hmm. So I just said, well, I'm just going to do my own thing, So I set my little telephone up, and I just did it over and over until I felt like I really got a good one, And I was pretty much memorized it. And I felt really good about, where I went emotionally. And I said, wow, I think that's the one. And I just hit send. And then I just forgot about it. It's like, forget it. That's it. If they can find somebody that could do it as good as I just did it, then they need to cast them. And that's the way I look at it. In fact, most of the time when I audition, and I think this is good for actors, this is a little bit of advice, for me at least, is just go in the room like they would be so lucky to have me. You know what I mean? That's always the way I feel in my head. Like, man, because I know how committed I am, and I know how much I bring. And, I'm a really good team player, and I have good ideas and stuff. And so I always feel like when I audition for things, they'd be so lucky to have me. So
nice.
I got cast, and I couldn't even believe it. And it really kind of changed my whole life, really changed everything.
That's crazy that you say that because, you're really rocking it on Z Nation. The whole cast is, to be truthful. I believe they blended the perfect people to actually be in Z Nation because you're catching, all of you are actually catching people's attention. And especially Z Nation fans, they're sitting there patiently waiting. Even myself, we're like, okay, season 3, come on. It's got to happen.
Well, you know what I think, and I don't know if this is true or not, but it seems to me that being an unknown actor and being kind of given that kind of opportunity, the audiences can really focus on you because they're not thinking, oh, isn't that the guy from the blah blah blah, or he was that same guy. And, when you watch a live series, they're taking this guy from that series and they're sticking him on here, and that's the dude from that series, and. We were all pretty unknown except Kalita Smith, who did the Bernie Mac show.
Right.
People might have recognized her, but primarily the rest of us are kind of unknowns, and I think that really served us pretty well. I think it keeps people interested and engaged, and of course we have amazing writers and a great crew, and all that of course is part of it. But we got really lucky, really really lucky, and we're all just thrilled. Believe me. We can't even believe it. We're like, man, season 3, are you kidding me? We're doing season 3? Yeah, so we're all really totally jazzed.
And that's the crazy part, because when I was talking to Pasay Powell on the show for a couple of episodes ago, I asked her the same question, and she was psyched about it. And when she actually found out she actually received the part up there, it kind of did a change of her life also. Yeah, that's how she was also. Yeah. It's just like, what? Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's a pretty amazing opportunity. They're making this television series on a shoestring budget. Nobody's making big bucks on this. It's really low budget, and so there's kind of a charm in that. We don't have the huge big special effects. It really does kind of harken back to the old
zombie genre back in the day when they first started, and they were kind of low budget, you know. So maybe that's part of the appeal as well, you know.
Well, to be truthful, it is, Russell, because when you actually have, I will use that terminology, low budget filming. The thing is, it kind of brings it more of reality, because who expects when you're doing high budget filming, you see a zombie walking across the street, and then an atomic bomb just go off, and it's in HD effect, and it seems like threw $3.5 million into just that one bombing by itself.
Yeah.
With Z Nation,
we don't have the money for that. We don't have the money, so we have to rely on other tricks, and it's just a lovely balance, I think, that they've met. You know, they've achieved. And, you know, it's awesome being able to shoot in Washington State. It's just so beautiful. And, you know, we're there in Spokane, Washington, and we get lots of, you know, primarily most of the zombie extras are locals in town, you know, that come. They're so enthusiastic and so excited to be on the show. And, you know, I just, you know, it's one of the first things I do when I come to the set is I go over to the you know, their compound where they herd them all and just talk to them, because they're so cool, you know. They keep them segregated from us, you know, because they're zombies after all. So, no, I love to go over there and talk to them, and they're always so excited and happy to be there, and just such troopers, man. They just, you know, have to wear that makeup all day long, and sometimes they might not even use them, and they have to come back, but they don't complain. They're just great. We've been really lucky in that regard.
That's cool right there. Now, how is the atmosphere? How is the atmosphere on Z Nation? You know, like behind the scenes when the cameras are not on.
Family, absolutely.
Nice.
You know, I mean, it's just, and we're all very much who we are, kind of our characters in a way. I mean, Kalita is our leader, you know, and my God, we just adore her. And she's been in business longer, you know, she's got a lot more experience on television, and so she's kind of a go-to person for, you know, the business and stuff like that. And I just love that, you know, she's our leader. And then, you know, Murphy, you know, he's an old theater guy just like me, so we connected immediately, you know, from doing years and years of theater. And he's just funny, and I just love hanging out with him. He's like my best bud, you know. And then, you know, 10K's like everybody's little brother, you know, we're just kind of looking out for him. And, you know, I remember he showed up. Yeah, he showed up on set, and he's this little blonde kid right out of high school. And I guess he looked a little too much like Michael Welch, who played Mac.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, well, we're going to do something with this kid. So he disappears into the makeup trailer, and then comes out with that black spiked hair and this outfit, and, you know, and an action hero was born, man. It was amazing, an amazing transformation, and he's a great kid. Really, you know, good parents, raised him right. Really, really super kid, and he's really handling all this newfound celebrity, you know, really well.
Right. That's
and,
good.
You know, Addie's adorable. I mean, it's just all of them. It's there's like your family, really, like your family, and great, you know, good writers. The crew is a mix of, you know, Pacific Northwest crew members and some LA as well. You know, wonderful special effects department, makeup, hair, costumes. Our stunt guy is amazing. He's the stunt coordinator, you know.
Right.
Every aspect. You know, we try to get together and do things together, and, you know, it couldn't be any better. And the cool part for me is, you know, on the weekends I can go home. You know, I just drive to Seattle and I can see my wife and my family. So that's a bonus for me. I mean, it's 4 hours, but, you know, that ain't nothing. I could buy if I want to splurge. Right. But yeah, I mean, it's a dream come true job for sure. Yeah.
That's cool. Make sure you tell the whole cast I said hello. Next time you get all together, make sure you do that. Big shout out.
Why don't you come out, man? Why don't you come out?
I would love to. Hey, why not,
dude?
Why not?
Yeah.
I may actually take you up on it all. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put you on there, I'm sure. We'll pull some strings.
Hey, that's
Doc
cool.
will pull some strings. But my wife got to be a zombie, you know.
Really?
She got to be a zombie extra. Yeah, they gave her a nice little close-up.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
We're going to talk about that one. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. That's cool.
Cool.
Now, far as it goes, you said the atmosphere is great out there. You know, when the camera is off and everything. Can you think of one memorable thing that actually happened? You know, when behind the scenes, when the camera off, that actually made you laugh, or something that you'll never forget that happened, where Z Nation fans could never see that happen with the camera off.
Oh dear, let me think. Oh, a lot of the funny stuff is on our gag reel. So at the end of the DVD, if you go ahead and order the DVD, at the end of the DVD is the gag reel. So you'll see all those moments, a lot of them. So I don't want to spoil any of those moments for you and your viewers. But I think one thing that's kind of fun is that a lot of the zombie extras that show up, they don't want to take their makeup off before they leave the set. So it's not unheard of or uncommon to, pull up to a red light and see a zombie in a car next to you, or walking down the street, because they like to just walk home with it, freak people out. So it's kind of fun, I know Carl Schaefer, our showrunner, was leaving the set one day, and he saw this. I guess he saw this zombie hitchhiking or something. So he pulled over to pick him up, and the guy said, "Oh no, not you, Carl. I want somebody else." You already know what the deal is. So the guy was having a ball hitchhiking home as a zombie.
That's crazy. Now, if I would have saw that and I was in L.A., I'm not sure if I would have just pulled over and laughed, or would I would have just sat there and off for the whole time.
Right?
I really wouldn't know which way to go on that one. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I got to bring this up, Russell. The big elephant in the room. I brought up what Pase told me personally to ask you about this. So, tell everybody about how Z-Weed was originated.
Oh, dear. Well, that was actually my idea. I came up with one morning, having coffee with my wife. I just picked up a truckload of compost for the garden, and I had just done a film called Starleaf, a little independent film about a secret grove of extraterrestrial marijuana called Starleaf, and it was and it helped soldiers with PTSD, and it's a lovely, wonderful, fun sci-fi horror independent film that I think you could probably find if you looked for it. Okay. And so that was in my mind, the idea of the Starleaf. And so we were thinking about, Doc has that moment smoking weed, in the air shaft. So I thought, well, what if, Doc came up with some weed called Z-weed, and we use dead zombies as compost to grow the plant. And so that's really all I came up with. They put the rest of it together, but I pitched it to the writers because I was invited down to L.A. to the writers group. And so while I was there, I pitched the idea of Z-weed and dead zombies as compost, and maybe when the zombies get high, it affects them. Maybe they get a little bit of consciousness comes back, or who knows what happens to them. But so they loved the idea and took the ball and ran with it. And so that's very cool. I mean, that's a really good example of how, our input is valued, and they really care about our ideas. And, it's really exciting. So, I went and made Z-Weed T-shirts, and I've been selling them at the Comic-Cons I get to go to. That's the other cool perk about being on this series is I get to do these Comic-Cons, which I didn't even know what they were before Z Nation. But you get to go to these conventions, and the fans come, and you get to meet them and take pictures and stuff. It's really cool. So I've been selling Z-Weed T-shirts.
Nice.
all over the globe, man. I tell you, we got
cool.
A huge following in other countries. It's a lot of us got to go to Germany and Italy to Comic-Cons, and it's just amazing opportunity.
Man, you can't beat this. You're like you said, there's a lot of us actually been on the show.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of the Walker Stalkers this year, Dallas and Nashville, Denver. There's one in Lexington, Kentucky. I mean, these Comic-Cons are everywhere. And like I said, our fans are the best. Our fans are cooler because you see them. You see who they're lining up to see. And, they're all just a lot of them are standing there waiting for an autograph or somebody. But our fans come running up to us. And they're like, oh, my God, I can't believe you're here. They're so enthusiastic that it's just such a gas. I mean, it really is.
It's got to feel good,
Oh
actually
my gosh,
catering
it's
to
just
your
so
fans
cool.
and seeing them. Yeah, that's
I mean,
cool.
who would have ever thought? Who would have ever thought I would have fans? I mean, it's just weird for me. It's just like very weird, but because it was never anything that I planned. I mean, I've had probably the most unorthodox career of any actor out there. Nothing that I ever planned on doing or planned on happening to me. I think it's just a matter of just saying yes, and keeping at it, doing your thing, and you never know.
Well, Russell, this is one of the greatest yeses that you've done. Yeah, I'm glad you've done it. I mean, I applaud the whole Z Nation cast and crew. You guys, like I said, you guys are actually taking Sci-Fi Network and you're actually 10 pounds. I mean, you're actually doing your thing going, and it's cool. Like you said, a full budget film, and you're making so much noise, and you're having fans and people at Comic-Con running up to you. Oh my gosh, they're here. So you're getting it. And I mean, to cater to your fans, there's some actors out there when their fans come up to them or they see a fan coming, they will turn the other way because they feel like they're too good for it. And I'm glad you
I
guys
just can't imagine that.
Right.
I can't imagine doing that. We're all just so thrilled and happy to meet the fans and talk to the fans, on Twitter. And right. I know what you mean, because some people say, "Oh my God, you answered me." I'm like, "Well, yeah, you just said this really nice thing about me. Why wouldn't I thank you for that?"
Exactly.
Of course, we're experiencing this celebrity on probably a pretty small scale right now, and maybe when you get really huge, maybe it gets to be annoying. I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine. I can't imagine the time where I wouldn't be interested in talking to the fans.
Man, Russell,
that's why
make sure you keep. Yeah, make sure you keep that humble head. I mean, all of you. Keep that humble head. I like that. I like that you all approach the fans. You all on social media, you all respond back. I watch the tweets and everything. So I see, and I like it. And Russell, since you brought that up, how can the people that's listening live right now, how can they actually, if they're not following you on Twitter or Facebook or whatever you're on, how can they actually find you on social media to follow you?
Oh, gosh. I guess just Google Russell Hodgkinson, and I guess my Facebook page will come up. I think there's a few of them. There's a Facebook page called Doc Z Nation, and then on Twitter it's at Hodge Mahal, which is my last name, HODGMAHAL. So it's Hodge Mahal, and that's my Twitter handle. I think if they really wanted to find us, they could, or I don't know. I guess that's the way to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Just Google, or if you found somebody whose name you could spell better, like the Asylum or Z Nation or Sci-Fi, then you'll be able to connect because you'll see that we're all connected.
That's cool.
It's a new world, man. It's a new world.
Right. You're right. And ladies and gentlemen, that's right. You heard him. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard him. You heard Russell. Go Google it.
Yeah.
Find him.
Google
follow him. He wants the fans to follow you. He wants y'all to follow
him. It's so cool. And it's not because, oh God, I need more fans. It's just because, my gosh, if they want to talk to somebody, if they're really a fan, well, give us a call. I'd love to just say hey. And sometimes I can't carry on big long conversations, but I almost always respond. At least.
Right.
If I can, and we get fan art. People do pictures and they send drawings of us, and it's just so cool. I mean, it's just a crazy cool thing. We're really lucky. We're really grateful.
Right. Now, Russell, what is your ultimate goal in acting?
Oh, gee, I don't know. I don't really. I mean, I have goals as a human being, and that's to just give back. How can I serve? How can I contribute? I've been really interested lately. I'm reading a book by Skip Stone about the hippie lifestyle. It's called, what's the book called? Hippies from A to Z. And it's just about, the cool hippie lifestyle, the hippie philosophy of respect for individual rights and freedom and, the goals of peace and, I don't know. So if I can spread any of those kind of hippie philosophies out there and maybe use my character a doc for as good as I can do it, I know one thing that I do with regard to the seaweed is I went to the writers and I said, I got kids that are calling, tweeting me and asking me, what's it like to smoke the seaweed? And I really want to be sure that we handle that responsibly. So I always say, look, man, seaweed is for medicinal use only. I don't want kids thinking that that's some party, let's, go smoke weed.
Right.
Right. So I talk about that. I like to talk about seaweed being for pain management. I mean, we're shooting in Washington State where marijuana is legal. Mm-hmm. So, and in fact, I know some growers who are actually putting a strain together of seaweed. It's a combination of two different strains of marijuana, and it's actually going to be available at the dispensaries probably in the next year. And it's going to help with pain management and spasm relief. I mean, there's a lot of really amazing benefits to marijuana, and so that would be an area that I would like to explore a little, bring some awareness to the benefits right there, grown out of the earth,
Right.
So I don't know. I just want to be the best human being that I can be and try to, spread some love and bring people together and in any way that I can. And if there's some cool cause out there that means a lot to me, like, Veterans Affairs and homelessness. I was a veteran for 11 years in the military. I was in the Army, and I was in the Coast Guard. So I have great respect for our veterans and want to do anything I can to help those kind of causes. So I think for me, it's about giving back. I've been given this amazing opportunity, and if I can use what little bit of celebrity that I got to shine a light on some cause, man, that's what I'm about.
Hey.
Would I love a spinoff? Heck yeah, I'll take a doc spinoff.
I believe it'll come.
Absolutely. So that's not out of the question. But ultimately, I just want to be the best me I can be, and that kind of thing. I know that's probably corny, but
no, it's not. It's not. Seriously, it's not. Now, you've been doing this throughout the show, but I'm going to ask you this question anyway. What advice would you give any male or female? It doesn't matter the age. That's trying to actually come into the television industry or the movie industry. What advice would you give them?
Oh, well, that's a pretty big, broad question. I guess first you'd want to know what part of the industry do you want to be in. I mean, do you want to be a writer, a director, casting agent, makeup artist? You want to do catering? Yeah, I mean, there's a million different avenues to take. If you're just talking about acting, I would say do community theater. Just start acting wherever you're at. Don't feel like you can't be an actor unless you move to L.A. Just start acting. There's theaters all over the country. There's opportunities to do little short films and be involved in projects all over the country. You don't have to live in New York or L.A. And just do your thing, man, and follow your passion, because life's short. Life is short. So do what you love.
True.
I guess that's all I could say.
Hey, that's cool. That's a good start.
Because I'm really not. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Well, I wish I had some great magic answer that's gonna help.
No,
but it's just follow your heart, man. Follow your heart. Go with the flow. I think the actor's life is very similar to the hippie life.
Right.
Love everybody and go with the flow and be a good team player and don't judge people and I don't know. I think it's a good philosophy and and for actors, we got to be able to play those dark roles and be okay with that. For a while I remember thinking, gosh, I don't want to play this guy. He's like I got to play Bob Ewell in To Kill a Mockingbird. Just a vile, horrible character. And I had to make my peace with that as an actor. To embrace him and say, how did he get that way? What's his backstory? So it's a journey, man. It's a journey just like life. And
right.
So just be kind to one another and do what you love,
Well, Russell, I want to say thank you. Continue the great work. Z Nation Cast, if you're listening to the show right now, congratulations to all of you guys. You all are rocking the show. Everybody's ready for season 3 to come out, so we will actually have our eyes on you. Russell, I want to say thank you again for coming on the show. I hope to see you on the show again in the future.
Thanks, Coop. My pleasure. And to all those Z-Whackers out there, thanks for watching. We love you guys, and I think you're going to really be excited about Season 3.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you again for coming on the show. You have a great day. Thank you for taking your time to come up here. And everybody, once again, that's listening, make sure you tell your family and friends we were live. You can actually, if you couldn't catch it live, make sure you go to my website, www.thebigscoopwithcoop.com. You can actually hear this show there, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Blog Talk. You can hear it everywhere. Just Google the show, just like Russell said.
Peace, everybody.
All right.
Geico presents sharing versus oversharing. Way early this morning, Brad Higdon shared a major spoiler alert from everyone's favorite hit show, sad emojis to express his feelings about the plot twist, and a playlist he made to drown out his sorrows? Dude, oversharing alert. Brad, Geico has something worth sharing with those who haven't befriended you. Like how you could save hundreds on your car insurance at geico.com. So stop moping about the post-apocalyptic world and start saving in the real world. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.